As noble a cause as this may be, is this what the BBC should be spending your licence fees on when they're claiming to be skint and have a £300 million black hole in their finances? Is this what they should be spending money on? I don't think so. Hi, it's me again, and I'm no stranger to BBC's waste, right? They get 3.7 billion quid a year, as we've said 10 million times on this channel. They get that amount of money from TV licence fees, and they can't make it stretch. How? How is that even possible? There are countries, many countries in the world that have a GDP of less and manage to survive and stay affluent. How do the BBC struggle? It's because they're spending money left, right and centre all over the world on stuff that do they need to be doing? Do they really need to be doing it? Have a look at this story and tell me if you think they need to be spending licence fee money on this. BBC News launches the 2023 Komla Dumor Award in celebration of journalistic talent in Africa. So whilst that sounds like quite a noble cause, they're doing an award in Africa for news in the English language and for people who do the news out there in the English language. Great, it's nice to have an award for the things that you do. But why does it need to be the BBC giving out that award? The award will be launched at an event in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and hosted by the BBC's Salim Kikiki. And the 2022 award winner will host a discussion for the BBC World Service Programme Focus on Africa on the impact of climate. Can they ever do anything, the BBC, without mentioning climate change? I can't remember. Why? I thought this was an award for journalistic stuff. Why are you trying to shoehorn climate change into there? Right, let's have a look at who's judging this anyway. Let's have a look. Judges on this year's panel include, can't pronounce that, Associate Director for Daily Maverick, former Editor-in-Chief of the Mail Guardian. Okay, well, there's nothing to do with the BBC. And then Juliet, can't pronounce that, Head of BBC Africa. And Paul Danaher, Foreign Editor for BBC News. So how much is this costing the BBC? How much is this costing the BBC? They have a head of BBC Africa. How much do you think that Juliet earns? It's got to be six figures, right? They won't tell me. They never tell me these sorts of things. I've given up filing requests to find out about how much people are getting paid at the BBC because they refuse to tell me. But let's assume that's a six-figure income, right? Because a news presenter can earn 300 grand at the BBC. So head of BBC Africa has got to be a six-figure salary, right? Paul Danaher, former editor of BBC News. I don't know if he still works at the BBC. Doesn't say there, does it? But the BBC will be paying for his flights. And they're not going to be cheap flights, are they? Down to Tanzania, they're going to fly in business or first because I believe that's in their thing. If it's a long-haul flight, they can't make you fly cattle at the BBC. From what I heard, I could be wrong in that. If you know, do feel free to correct me. They've got to send camera teams down there with all the gear. They've got to pay for a hall. They've got to set it all up. Money, right? We're talking money here. And then as part of the award, the winner will spend 3 months working in the BBC with news teams in London across television, radio and online. They will be given the opportunity to further develop their journalism skills through training, blah, blah, blah. The successful candidate will also have the opportunity to travel to a country in Africa to report on a story that they generate and research, which will be broadcast to the BBC's global audience. All I heard there was more money. So the winner of the award is going to be flown to London, put up and fed and be given expenses, I would imagine. You're going to pay for through your TV licence fees, and then flown to another country in Africa to do a story. It's wasteful. Why can't the local government in Tanzania do this? Why does it have to be the BBC? Why are they spending TV licence fees on this? As good a cause as it is, why? Why do the BBC have to feel they get involved? Why? Why? It's none of our business, is it? So there was a winner last year. Let's have a look at what they did and how much of the licence fee money they spent. So during his placement, current award winner, can't pronounce that, travelled to the Seychelles to report on how the country's ocean planets can help tackle climate change. Yeah, you've only got to mention the word climate change and the BBC will buy you a flight anywhere. Because flying around the world to report on climate change really helps climate change, apparently. So Lillian Landor, Senior Controller of BBC News International Services and Director of BBC World Service, her business card must be A4 with a job title like that. We are proud to launch the 23 BBC News Komla Dumor Award. The award and our previous winners are a fitting testament to Komla's dedication to telling African stories with depth and integrity. And wonderful, wonderful. African stories being told with depth and integrity, I'm all for that. But why are the BBC getting involved? What do you think about this then? It seems like a waste of money and something the BBC has no business getting involved in to me. But I could be wrong. I don't know the history of this award or all of that. And I don't care, frankly. But if you want to fill me in, please do fill me in if you know more about this down in the comments below. Because when I'm wrong, I'm willing to admit I'm wrong. But to me, this seems like a massive waste of money when a company's complaining they've got a £300 million hole in their finances. But they're still interested in doing stuff like this. And it's going to cost a couple of million to put this on, right? If not more, knowing the BBC. That's wasteful. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because that way, hopefully, I'll see you in another video again soon. Ta-da.